75-degree, beautiful early evening here in Southern California. We welcome you back to Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles for Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. The Minnesota Timberwolves hoping to bounce back against the Los Angeles Lakers. The T-Wolves seeking to tie the series at 2. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albin, along with the Czar, Mike Fratello, Doug Collins. As Ernie mentioned just a moment ago, Kobe Bryant is in the building. He made it back here to Staples about 1 hour ago from his pretrial hearing in Eagle, Colorado, and Kobe will be in the starting lineup. And as always, there are subplots involving the Lakers. And as always, all revolves around Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant.
Well, Marv, this is the 5th time this season that Kobe has made the trip from the courtroom to the playing court here at Staples. And it seems like he's one-upped himself every time. The game-winning shot against Denver in December. He follows that up in March with a terrific performance against Sacramento. And then in the playoffs, we saw it in Game 5, the elimination game against Houston. He was magnificent with 31 points and 10 assists. And then arguably his greatest playoff game of all time, Game 4 against San Antonio, 42 points, 15 of 27 field goals. So he, obviously, all eyes will be on him tonight. And Shaq, we'll probably see the hack of Shaq tonight. Most free throws he's ever attempted in a playoff game, 39. We might see him break that record tonight.
Yes, no hesitation on the part of Flip Saunders in putting Shaquille O'Neal at the line. Czar, as for the T-Wolves, Sam Cassell will be a game-time decision, still bothered by the sore back and the sore hip. In talking with Minnesota head coach Flip Saunders, he said they must get more from Kevin Garnett. Now, you look at the stat line, and it's pretty good the other night. However, he managed only 1 field goal in the last 21 minutes of play.
The league's MVP has been a workhorse in this series. He's averaging almost 43 minutes per game. And while he leads his team in almost every statistical category, he has yet to have that huge performance like he did in Game 7 against Sacramento, where he scored 32 points, had 21 rebounds, and 5 block shots. And as good as he's been, when you go back and look at the stat lines between Games 2 and Game 3, you can see that although they look pretty close to one another, the difference comes from the supporting cast. 41 points off the bench, which was a plus 17 in Game 2 in a victory. In Game 3, a differential of just plus 8. So for Minnesota to even this series up tonight, it may take a spectacular performance from KG and the bench doing its job to get a win.
And as you can see behind us, always a late arriving crowd here at Staples in LA. They are still filing in as we get ready. It's the Lakers and the T-Wolves. Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals.
The 2004 NBA Western Conference Finals, only on TNT.
This is the new Napa NASCAR Select oil filter with race-inspired spin flow technology. Inside a normal filter, oil experiences turbulence, which frustrates the filtration cycle. But spin flow technology expunges turbulence by channeling the movement of oil across the filter media. Hold on, Cowpoke. Large particles are constrained to flow out and away from the T52 media, facilitating excellent continuance at a myriad of pressures.
Napa's new oil filter cleans oil better.
That's what I said.
Get the good stuff.
All I want is a room somewhere, a great escape from the ordinary. Weekend ideas just a click away. Thousands of ways to get out and play. All I want is our best rates guaranteed, breakfast complimentary. Weekends will set you free. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely?
You think putting me behind some bushes phases me? I'm an expert. Isolation keeps me focused on keeping you comfy. Don't even think about it, dog.
For unmatched expertise, Carrier stands alone.
I really hate that guy.
In fact, our Puron refrigerant and expertise makes Carrier trusted in more homes than any other brand.
Anyone got a towel?
Carrier, turn to the experts. And right now, get up to $1,000 cash back on select systems when you turn to Carrier for cool cash rebates.
I get headaches a lot. Some weeks it's like I get one every day. It was so frustrating. I used to take anything in reach. I knew some medicines cause stomach problems, but my stomach felt fine. And then I found out, even if you don't feel it, aspirin can be damaging to your stomach. So maybe there's some problems going on that you don't even feel. I'm not okay with that.
The pure pain relief of Tylenol works fast on your headaches and is safer on your stomach.
Welcome back to Los Angeles, California, as we take a look at tonight's McDonald's starting lineups. And for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Sam Cassell will not start. Derek Martin will get the start. Trent Hassel at the other guard. Latrell Sprewell, Kevin Garnett, and Irvin Johnson on the front line. And here are the Lakers: Gary Payton, Kobe Bryant in the backcourt, Devin George, who had a big game the other night with Karl Malone, and Shaquille O'Neal. Officials: Jack Lease, Bernie Fryer, and Mike Callahan. And there is Kobe Bryant, who made it back from the court hearing in Eagle, Colorado. A hearing that began at 7:30 this morning. And we're ready for game number 4. Lakers leading this series 2-1. Game 5 will be back at the Target Center in Minneapolis on Saturday night and here on TNT.
I would think Flip Saunders will have an early eye on his point guard, Derek Martin, who had a spectacular game number 2, where he got the opportunity to play 36 minutes, 15 points, 6 assists. But in game number 3, coming off the bench, only 19 minutes, 0 for 2 from the floor.
And from Kobe's standpoint, remember in game 3, only 2 field goal attempts in the first half. Will he come out tonight looking to play with a lot of energy and look to score in the first period? We'll have to watch.
They're gonna give that ball to Minnesota. Shaq stole it on the way up the tip, so ball's awarded to the Timberwolves.
And Shaquille has that guilty grin on his face.
Like you got caught with your hand
yes.
in the jar.
This is Derek Martin, who grew up here in Los Angeles. Latrell Sprewell, played tightly by Devin George. Kevin Garnett spinning his way on Karl Malone. First possession for the Lakers. Gary Payton, you recall, got off very quickly in game 3, going up against Sam Cassell, who was certainly limited in his mobility. They love to get Payton going early. Garnett on the rebound. Here comes Hassel. Sprewell with the step, and he's fouled by George.
You will see Minnesota take every opportunity in transition that they can. If it's an open look at the basket, they want to be aggressive and go after it. If they think they can turn the corner, do it. If they think they've got a jumper, do it, because Flip Saunders feels that might be the best shot they get against this Laker defense.
Well, we spoke to him today, Mike. He talked about, he thought that if the Lakers had a vulnerability, it was their transition defense. At the end of game 3, they made a little run where they forced some turnovers, and he wants them to look for those quick jump shots in transition and not have to play in a half-court game the entire night.
Latrell Sprewell has had a solid series in game 3 on Tuesday. 18 points, 3 more from downtown, 12 of his 18 coming in the 4th quarter.
Remember now, Minnesota did not shoot 1 free throw in the entire first half of game 3.
Bryant being played by Hassel. Nice move by Bryant. Could not hit on the reverse. Garnett finding Hassel.
Not a bad 7-footer to wind up in the middle of the break. Great hands, understanding where his teammates are. Pass by Garnett for the score.
Pass intended for Bryant. Hassel gets the pick from Garnett. Nice pass again from Garnett, and Irvin Johnson is able to score. Kevin Garnett at 6'11" and a half, or as he says, 6'13", maybe the tallest point guard in the history of the NBA. when he's playing the point, which, as we have seen, has been quite frequent in this series. Here's Malone. Karl Malone knocks it down.
Now again, Kevin Garnett is a one-man zone, so Malone will be getting a lot of those shots as Garnett is looking to help on Shaq and Kobe.
It is a traveling violation.
Well, one of the things that Flip Saunders is upset, he feels like that Kevin Garnett does not shoot enough free throws. Now, when Kevin is a jump shooter, he does not have any kind of legitimate gripe. But if he's going to drive to the basket, there's going to be contact. That's when he can start talking about put my MVP on the free throw line.
Well, you look back at the regular season, he averaged under 6 free throws per game. That is not a high number.
Correct. He loves to shoot the medium-range jump.
Good play by Hassel, and he was run into by Bryant. And it's not a bad foul because it stopped the fast break.
Doug, in the open, you mentioned all the performances that Kobe has had coming back from his day in court. Sometimes now you get to the point where you try and keep improving on what you did before. You try to add the next chapter to the book, and you do too much. Trying to take on 2 defenders, trying to split them off the dribble, it winds up being a bad decision.
Sprewell again with the step, rejected. Shaquille O'Neal came over to help and was able to block it out of bounds.
One of the things with this Minnesota team right now, this is a better defensive team without Cassell. They lose offense. Now Sprewell going right to the front of the rim, and you can see Minnesota, Sprewell with the little jumper, has one thing on their mind. We have got to get to the free throw line if we're going to be able to score and then get our defense back, because they want to play a lot of zone tonight too, Mark, more than they've played all playoffs.
Yes, Flip Saunders mentioning that to us earlier today. Also wants to see more of Kevin Garnett in the attack mode. Bryant, beautiful fake, able to shake off Hassel.
But Mark, the one thing that's deceiving and is hard really to talk about is the differential in free throws as Trent Hassel drives to the basket and is fouled. Coming in, it was a 95-48 advantage for the Lakers, but to evaluate that really isn't fair because of the hack-a-shack tactic that Minnesota has used.
There you see game 3, Lakers in the second half, 25 for 40 at the line, primarily because, as you mentioned, Shaquille O'Neal going to the line.
Well, you can see that's the 3rd attempt already. This will be the 4th attempt of the first half. None in the entire first half. The first free throw they got the other night in game 3 was actually the technical foul against Kobe Bryant. They had not attempted a free throw.
Timberwolves have a 9-4 lead. O'Neal putting the move on Johnson, able to bank it home. Shaq going glass. The T-Wolves up by 3. Garnett over Malone. And here comes Payton. Payton spinning his way on Martin. Look out, tripping foul on Sprewell that sent Malone to the floor.
In game 3, the Lakers went back to their triangle offense more. Mark, we talked to Phil Jackson today. Minnesota had done a great job of jumping the passing lanes, and they only allowed Shaq to get 10 shots in game 2. They went back to the triangle to improve their passing lanes, and it really helped Shaq. He got the ball in better areas on the floor and gave him more opportunities.
Payton coming off the screen. Malone's pass tipped away. Sprewell and George chased down. It's a 24-second violation and not a good possession by the Lakers.
Exactly what Minnesota is hoping to do. Put enough pressure that you force the Lakers to throw extra passes. You get deflections, ball goes out of bounds. They got to start over again, that type of thing. And you wind up getting a 24-second violation, which is 1 extra possession for Minnesota.
Well, the 2 Laker wins are averaging 29 assists, and their assist-turnover ratio is close to 3-1. You've got to disrupt their timing. That really hurts them when you get the deflection.
Sprewell for 3. No question that Bryant looking for his shot. Not the case the other night. Payton. Rebounded by Johnson. Nice save. Hassel pulling it up. Finding Garnett. Broken up nicely by Malone. And the Lakers with a 4-on-3, but the T-Wolves able to hustle back.
Once again, the triangle offense here, Mark, needs a little time.
Here's Bryant. He's fouled. He was hacked by Hassel. Kobe with a puzzling first half. In game 3, took the 2 shots as we touched on earlier, but came on strong and finished with 22. But there's no question that he is looking for the shot here tonight.
This is about the 5th or 6th time now in this series that Trent Hassel has fouled Kobe Bryant on jump shots, and it's something that you don't want to do because great players are usually 80+% free throw shooters. That's like giving them 2 points as opposed to good jump shooters make maybe 50%.
And one of the things we need to watch tonight is how quickly in every period the Lakers get into the penalty at the free throw line. If they're going to go the hack-a-shack, remember now that gives Kobe more opportunities. Lost in Shaq's 22 attempts the other night. Kobe took 11 and he made 10 of them. So the earlier you get in the penalty, then he takes advantage of it.
Minnesota with a 1-point lead. Derek Martin in the starting lineup at the point for Sam Cassell, who is dressed and perhaps will play later on. Here's Martin, rebounded by Garnett, and Martin resets. Hassel, wasting no time, able to drill it. So the T-Wolves with an 11-8 lead. Trenton Hassel, good pickup by Minnesota, originally a second-round draft choice of the Chicago Bulls. Spent 2 years with the Bulls. Started 53 games last season. Here is O'Neal. Nice spin by Shaq.
Mark, you were talking about Hassel. One of the concerns of Minnesota was that while they have Hassel on the floor, Kobe Bryant would cheat off him and force him to make shots, and Sprewell misses the drive attempt. Coming into this game, he's shooting 6 for 8 from the floor. Not that many attempts, but not bad.
Oh, good play by Sprewell, but not able to control. He stepped out of bounds.
Just to follow that up, the 2 guys against Sacramento for Minnesota that played exceptionally well, Hassel and Hoiberg. They averaged in that series almost 18 points. In this series, less than 7 because the Lakers don't double team. They don't get open shots.
The 2004 Western Conference Finals here on TNT, being brought to you by Amstel Light. The beer drinkers like beer, by IBM, making on-demand business a reality for companies around the world. By Verizon Wireless, they never stop working for you. And by American Express, it's the official card of High Flyers. Coming up on 6:30 Pacific Coast time as we welcome you back. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Kobe Bryant's ability to play on a basketball court the same day as appearing in sexual assault court has been a mystery to many. I talked to several team doctors today, and what I concluded and what learning from them is, 1, he has the mental capacity to departmentalize. That means focus on the task at hand without being distracted. And secondly, physically, his brain has been able to tell his adrenal glands to provide the hormone whenever he needs that extra surge of energy. It's a combination we often see in firefighters, also policemen, and our armed forces. Cheryl?
Craig Flip Saunders said the reason that he decided not to start Sam Cassell was based on watching him struggle in the last game. He said physically Cassell just simply couldn't do the things we needed him to do. Right now the team's main focus is to get the all-star point guard ready for Saturday's game. Marv?
All right, thank you, Cheryl. We see Derek Martin, who is starting for Sam Cassell, handling against Gary Payton. Just under 6 minutes to play in this first quarter. And the T-Wolves have a 1-point lead. Shot clock is down to 4. An open opportunity for 3 for Martin. Rebounded by Michael Olowokandi, who just came on for Urban Johnson. Flip Saunders telling us we may see more of Olowokandi, and they are looking for more offense from Michael Olowokandi.
Particularly when Shaquille is out of there, they want to go to Olowokandi, and they expect scores from him.
Shot clock down to 4. Garnett takes it to the rim, trying to draw the foul, and he comes up hobbling.
It's like he banged his knee against one of the Lakers as he drove to the basket.
Payton for Malone, and broken up. Last touch by Malone.
Just to follow up on Cheryl's report, Sam Cassell offensively could probably give Minnesota some points tonight. Where Flip was concerned was defensively. Gary Payton got off to a great start, and he really neutralized the offense that Sam brought. And if they're going to win this game, they've got to do it on the defensive end of the floor.
Yes, the other night, Cassell played 26 minutes, 7 of 12, 18 points. That's a reach-in foul on Payton. But Sam came up hobbling this after a Game 2 appearance that lasted 43 seconds, gave it a shot, and committed a foul, was forced to head back to the bench.
Watch now Minnesota as they've taken their point guard out of the game. This is where they'll use a lot of zone because they'll go to a big perimeter. They have Garnett and Olowokandi on the floor. I expect to see a lot of zone defense with this group.
Derek Fisher has come on, replacing Devin George. Fred Hoiberg and Wally Szczerbiak have checked in for the T-Wolves. Garnett goes to the step back and score. So the Timberwolves now lead 13-10.
Big thing for them. Szczerbiak is now up to averaging over 29 minutes per game in this series. He's been the clearance to go ahead, giving clearance rather to go ahead and play more minutes, and he certainly has responded. Payton with the lefty layup. Szczerbiak has been huge for them, making big shots and from behind the three-point line.
At one point the other night, he scored 14 straight points for the T-Wolves. He was 6 of 12, 21 points, 19 of the 21 in the fourth quarter. Here's Sprewell. He's been off on the back tap, able to keep it alive. Nice play. And Latrell Sprewell extends to a three-point Minnesota lead.
And you can even see Wally Szczerbiak up the floor trying to put some pressure on Gary Payton. If the Lakers are going to run a lot of triangle offense, they need a lot of time on the shot clock to do it. It's a very much of a rhythm offense.
O'Neal, that will not count. Foul before the shot attempt. And foul on Olowokandi. Well, TNT and HD is now available. Catch all the drama of the NBA in high definition. That's TNT and HD high definition.
Here's your zone right there. Lakers now have to attack the Minnesota zone.
Nice entry pass. Malone from Payton. So the T-Wolves lead by 1.
They caught him right there. They were trying to make their defensive slides out of the zone. They found the seam, the Lakers, and the pass was perfectly executed.
4 assists now for Gary Payton. Hoiberg for 3. Back comes Bryant. On the run, goes right at Garnett, and not able to hit on that reverse attempt. Szczerbiak. Olowokandi keeps it alive. Here's Szczerbiak again. Yes.
That's twice now they've gotten offensive rebound, second shot, and scored. Minnesota's a very high percentage shooting team. If you give them extra shots, they'll usually take advantage of that.
And if you remember the last game, we said that Minnesota must have had 10 shots that were uncontested shots. We see Malone, who's going to be wide open tonight, the way Minnesota's playing defense right now. They're basically saying, Karl Malone, you can have 20 shots tonight. We want to see how many you're going to make.
Sprewell. Yes, and the foul. Latrell Sprewell has come out again, all fired up. He was fouled by Payton. Timeout taken. When we return, Sprewell will go to the line. Minnesota by 5. Back in LA, there is a similar storyline to the coaching careers of Phil Jackson and Flip Saunders, both tied to the CBA. Phil coaching the Albany Patroons in the 80s. Patroons won the CBA title in 1984. Phil Coach of the Year in 85. And Flip Saunders with the very nice looking blue vest coached the lacrosse Catbirds from 89 through 94. Catbirds won the CBA title in 1990 and 1992, and Flip was a 2-time Coach of the Year. We were talking earlier with Flip about his days in the CBA, and I asked him what he remembered most. He said, well, it was $10 per day per diem.
Well, you know, the thing I think it's really given him a perspective on as well, Marv, is injuries. In the CBA, when you lose players, normally it's your best players who are called up. We saw in Game 2, Cassell, only 43 seconds. He comes in with Derek Martin. Said, never make an excuse for injuries. You just play, and he said, I feel like that my CBA training really helped me focus in on that.
Besides the $10 a day per diem, he loved the hotels. Remember the night that somebody turned on their heater and the room caught on fire? And then he realized that when you got to the playoffs, the checks stopped coming, but you still had a coach for the rest of the playoffs.
But he said there was great come-around in the CBA. Coming up on 2 minutes to play In this first quarter, Minnesota by 6. Springwell rebounded by O'Neal. Rick Fox has checked in for the first time. Derek Fisher now working the point. Fisher and Bryant in the backcourt. Here is Fisher's first attempt.
Doug, you mentioned that they have gone back to running a little more of the triangle last game, and again now we've seen more baskets come off the triangle offense than we had in games 1 and 2.
Garnett, Kevin Garnett with his second field goal.
And Derek Fisher continues to shoot lights out against Minnesota. He was terrific last year in the playoffs and continued right here in this series as well. You better not give him an open shot.
Here's Fisher again. What were you saying?
And, you know, Fox is in because he's the Serbiak stopper, according to Phil Jackson. He said last year he had great success in guarding him, so Phil going with him. He doesn't want Serbiak to get off early here in this game.
Here's Garnett. And a loose ball foul. It's on the T-Wolves.
That's one of those shots that Garnett took where the upper part of his body, his shoulders are squared up to the rim, but the bottom part from the waist down winds up getting turned. Oftentimes, as Slipson has mentioned us, because the defensive guys know they can't get him up on top, so they try and knock him off balance down low.
Foul on Oliver Candy. So the Timberwolves with their 4th team foul. Lakers are in the penalty. Here's Fisher with a nice spin going high off glass and a foul. Let's see. It's on Oliver Candy. The T-Wolves were looking for the call on Shaq.
This winds up just being a wrestling match down inside. Oliver Candy trying to keep the body on it. When those arms get locked like that, who are you going to call it on? The reason they called on Oliver Candy, he had a hold of not only his arms and his body, but when you grab the jersey, then we got to call something, okay? You can't rip the jersey.
It's almost like you have to turn and just face guard him and try to just keep him away from the basket. Go create the contact on him before he gets to you. And here's the free throw shooting, Marv, we talked about in the open, and how he shoots them early in the game could dictate how much they foul him tonight. If he gets off to a slow start, game 1 he was 9 of 11. Since then he has struggled, but he misses his first 2.
However, Lakers able to maintain possession. Rick Fox for 3. A rare shot for Rick Fox, who has not been getting the playing time. He's been hammered by injuries throughout the season. Urban Johnson is back, replacing Michael Oliver Candy, who picked up a 3rd foul. And once again, we see the T-Wolves hitting from the perimeter. Fred Hoiberg with his first field goal.
Got only 1 shot in 17 minutes in game 3. Yesterday, Flip had him hold his hand up and he said, I want to introduce you. This is Fred Hoiberg. He's on our team. Please pass him the ball.
Well, Fred among the leaders during the regular season in 3-point shooting. Bryant. O'Neal is fouled. Urban Johnson picks up his first. Shaquille O'Neal back to the free throw line, and for more on Shaq's foul shooting, let's go to Craig.
Well, after making just 8 of 22 free throws Tuesday night, Shaq consulted with a shooting coach yesterday at practice by the name of Bob Tate. What Tate told him is they looked at videotape and said what his problem is that his elbow is drifting to the outside and he's also pausing throughout the release. During practice yesterday, he made 75% of his free throws. How well he does tonight, I don't know, but he has been working on it.
Well, Shaquille now 2 of 4 at the line. He has 6 points, 6 rebounds. Those strokes look pretty good. Final seconds of the first quarter. Garnett. And time runs out in this first quarter. Garnett looking to draw the foul, looking for the call.
Well, those are the kind of fouls you see Flip Saunders. You're going, now look, if he's a jump shooter, yes. But if he drives the ball in and there's contact with 2 guys, my guy's an MVP. He's got to get some of these calls as well.
After 1, Minnesota with a 24-23 lead. We'll be right back. A look from overhead as we welcome you back to Staples Center in Los Angeles. It is on to the second quarter, and the Timberwolves have a 24-23 lead on the Lakers. Lakers 56-26 in the regular season, won the Pacific Division, finished as the second seed in the West, edging Sacramento on the very last day of the regular campaign. Came on strong at the end of the year, winning 14 of the last 17. At one point, they won 11 straight. Remember, they started the season 18-3 and then fell off, but it's a team that came on.
Well, they had the injuries. It's like they got off to a great start, Marv. They were playing championship defense. And then Karl Malone got hurt when he shot the jump shot. Scott Williams fell into his leg. Other injuries started to occur. They went into that little malaise of their midseason. At one point in time, this team lost 9 straight road games.
And then in the postseason, beat the Rockets in 5, knocked off the defending champion Spurs in 6. Here's Malone getting inside, rebounded by Medvedenko, just came on. Handled by Medvedenko again, and then stripped. Good play by Serbia. Crowd looking for a foul on the T-Wolves. Mark Matson has checked in for the first time. He is up front with Garnett and Sprewell. Here's Garnett. Yes, Kevin Garnett, very active here in the first half.
And again, you see Malone swipe at the ball to try and get it before Garnett can get it above his waist, because Malone understands once Garnett gets it up high above his head, he really has no chance. It's just like playing by yourself out there for Kevin Garnett.
Medvedenko puts the move on his former teammate and is way off. Able to go to his right against Matson, and that shot came flying off the mark. Here's Sprewell over Malone. Rebounded by Bryant.
I think Medvedenko sometimes thinks he's Vinnie Johnson. He comes in, he's like the microwave. He just lets him fly.
Bryant, oh, beautiful move. Kobe Bryant. And that is his second field goal. He has 6 points in all. Lakers now down by 1. And away from the ball, Sprewell is knocked down by Fox.
You see the Minnesota T-Wolves going a lot here with a big backcourt, a big perimeter with Sam Cassell out of the game. They've taken Derek Mark. They need offensive players on the floor. So now with Sprewell sitting down, you keep Hoiberg and Zerbiak, your best shooters, on the floor. So if they double-team Garnett, somebody's going to be able to spot up and make some shots.
As Trent Hassel has returned, got the step. Strong move by Hassel, although Medvedenko felt that he was pushed aside.
I know you count on your teammates for support, and Kobe's cheating over because he's that floater out there trying to help on defense. But when the ball does come back to your man, you got to try and get yourself in front of him a little bit. That's too easy.
And with Shaq out of the game, no shot blocking for the Lakers, so Minnesota should continue to drive hard to the basket.
Fox off the fake, goes to the left hand. How about that move by Rick Fox? Had a tough season, sat out the first 41 games following surgery on his left foot. He's been playing through a dislocated thumb. He's getting minutes here tonight. Garnett with a shoulder ball maneuver. Oh, what a shot by Kevin Garnett.
Not only did he spin away from his defender, he took on the next defender rotating, had the ball in one hand, took the contact, and still made the shot.
3-point Timberwolf lead. Bryant at the post. And the tip is missed. Malone came up short. Malone again. It counts. And the foul.
Well, that was all created by the double team on Kobe Bryant. When you double team, you really get into a zone on the weak side of the basketball, and you're going to see right over as Madsen comes over to help out. Nobody there to block off Karl Malone. He misses the first shot and then just out-muscles Wally Zerbiak for the second one. And Karl Malone, these are the kind of plays that he brings to this team. He brings that glue, that catalyst approach, whether it be shooting the ball, his defense, making the extra pass. That's why he's so vital to this team.
Sure, as Flip Saunders, he would have been happy with him tipping it in,
yes,
because not only did he lose an extra point, but he got a foul on Kevin Garnett as a result.
Game is tied at 30. Garnett spinning his way and slams it down. Malone felt that he was fouled.
I'm not sure if this is going to change as the game goes on, but right now, these officials are letting these guys play. There have been a number of situations where a whistle could have been blown. They're letting them play through, and they're doing the same at both ends, which is what the players want to know. Now we'll see if this changes as the game goes on.
Garnett with 10 points. The Wolves up by 2. Fisher. Look out, Serbiak. Not looking for the pass, and then saw it at the last instant. Serbiak draws the foul. It counts, and the foul on Fox.
We talked about Wally Serbiak coming in and providing the offensive spark for this team. They fear Serbiak's perimeter game. You've got to get to him quickly when he looks like he's open. He gets Fox on the run. He concentrates, takes the contact, makes it, and now to the line.
Well, here it is. Tonight's version of Bud Light's Idle Thoughts from the mind of the Czar.
I was just thinking that most times to win a championship, you need 3 really good players on a team to carry. You think back to Michael Jordan's days, Jordan, Pippen, Kukoc, or Grant, the Boston Celtics with Bird or McHale and whoever else you want to throw in. Well, think about this. Tonight we've got 2 of the top 3 scoring trios in the NBA this season playing against each other. Minnesota with Garnett, Cassell, Sprewell. The Lakers with Bryant, their supporting cast, O'Neal, and the Clippers. But it hasn't helped the Clippers a whole lot, has it?
Why did we see the Clippers up there?
Because they were 3rd. They had to put them up at 3rd.
They do have the 2nd pick in the draft, though, so
they may have 4. They may have 4 up there next year.
Doug, I thought it was another fascinating idle thought.
Don't drag me into your guys' abyss now, okay?
T-Wolves up by 5. 4 minutes gone by. In this second quarter, Marv Albert, Doug Collins, the Czar, Mike Fratello, Craig Sager, Cheryl Miller from Staples in L.A. As you see Shaquille O'Neal back on the floor. Good job by Slava Medvedenko. They get the new clock. Kareem Rush has checked in for the first time, and a foul as Matson got involved with O'Neal.
And Kevin Garnett continues to leave his man, whoever he's guarding, and one plays in front of Shaq, one plays behind Shaq to try and stop the entry passes into the low post area.
And you can see it's Mark Madsen's job. He's trying to wedge Shaq off the post to get him as deep as he possibly can. You see the lower body. They're trying to hold him out of the lane.
Kevin George tried to keep it alive, but deflected it out of bounds. So Minnesota back in possession. Latrell Sprewell getting set to check back in. Some pressure being shown by the Lakers. T-Wolves with only 1 turnover thus far tonight. Serbiak played well by Rush, who is a solid defensive player. O'Neal going against his former teammate and good friend Mark Madsen, and that is an offensive foul, and that's got to hurt.
When we talked to Flip Saunders before the series started, he said actually during the regular season, Mark Madsen did as good as job as anybody on our team. He knows Shaq. He played against him for 3 years, and you've got to be willing to take a lot of punishment when you play against Shaq. You got to throw your body out there, and Madsen will do that, and you got to try to frustrate him. Sometimes playing a smaller player against Shaq frustrates him more than you have a bigger guy against him.
That's the 2nd foul on Shaquille O'Neal. Sprewell eluding George. Back comes Fisher. And a reach-in foul. The basket will not count.
If you watch Kevin Garnett, anytime there's a whistle and a guy tries to take a shot afterwards, he always blocks the shot. That started in high school. It was his way of letting guys go. You're never going to make the basket after the whistle. So watch Garnett. The whistle, the play's over, and he knocks it away. He does not want him to see the ball going in the basket. Just a little subtle little thing that he does.
You're not going to score on my goal.
Exactly right.
Although you can pick up some goaltending.
And that's true.
Like that. All right, here is Fisher. Yes. Derek Fisher's extraordinary shooting against the Timberwolves continues. Minnesota up 35-32. And again, Garnett playing the point. Garnett spinning his way. Garnett gives it back to Hoiberg. Here's Hoiberg, rejected by O'Neal. 3-on-2. Fisher, yes. Fred Hoiberg shaken up again in a collision. He's playing with bruised ribs and a bruised chest area. The result of taking a charge from Karl Malone back in game 2, and he just took a shot from Shaq. 6:04 to go in this first half.
Hey, yo, Thirst, let me get a Sprite.
No doubt. What's better than Sprite when it's hotter than a devil's drawers out?
Oh, here he goes.
I'm serious. That thirst-quenching lemon lime hitting the back of your throat. Splatter out. Really? Name one thing that's better. You can't. There is nothing better. I dare you. I double dog dare you. I defy you to name one thing. All right, name two. Show him my motto. Hey, girls, throw it in reverse for Thirst.
Oscar De La Hoya is headed for the biggest challenge of his life, the World Middleweight Championship. His first test, Felix Sturm. The reigning middleweight king Bernard Hopkins has his own dangerous challenge, getting by roadblock Robert Allen. It's a must-win night. If they both make the grade, they'll meet for the ultimate showdown. De La Hoya Sturm, Hopkins Allen, collision course, Saturday, June 5th, live on DirecTV pay-per-view. Don't miss the De La Hoya Hopkins doubleheader, live on DirecTV pay-per-view channel 101.
No, it's not. Yes, it is. I've seen it. You've seen it? Yes. You haven't seen it? Yes, I have.
See the world television premiere of Pirates of the Caribbean, only on Stars. Stars has the biggest, hottest hits of the summer. For a limited time, if you're a new Stars customer, you'll get a free prepaid $20 Visa gift card. Order Stars today. Call 1-800-DIRECTV or visit directtv.com.
The 2004 Western Conference Finals on TNT are being brought to you by Sky Sport, the new low-carb, ultra-premium malt beverage with the taste of citrus and cranberry, and by Hyundai.
You mentioned Fred Hoiberg still feeling the effects of the knee from Karl Malone on the drive back in game 2. Well, this certainly is going to help him feel any better. He drives it at Shaquille O'Neal, goes up, understanding that I'm probably going to get this #1 block, and #2, I'm going to feel the effects of the big man's body. Hoiberg winds up on the floor as the Lakers start their fast break.
Well, you can see Minnesota's making a conscious effort not to just shoot jump shots. Hoiberg is sitting down now. Derek Martin back in the game to lead this team once again. 6-something to go here in the second period. And Garnett, the one thing, he is expending so much energy tonight. He's going hard at Malone. Shaq is helping. Now it's Medvedenko. Will he, in the fourth quarter, have this energy?
You talk about energy. What happened last game in the last, 13.5 minutes of the game? Just one field goal attempt?
Well, he's working so hard right now to keep them in this game.
Offensive foul. Illegal pick called on Irvin Johnson. So Johnson, with his second Olowokandi in his 5-minute cameo, committed 3 fouls. Minnesota by 1. Here's Devin George. Irvin Johnson went for the steal, and it allowed Devin George the opening, and he slammed it down.
That was because of the pressure Minnesota was putting on. They couldn't enter the ball to George on the wing, so they threw a long straight pass into the low post to Shaq, and that's when George ran the back door.
Foul on Medvedenko. First time the Lakers have led tonight.
You really have to pick and choose when you go for steals, because when you don't get them, it just totally compromises your defense, and especially with Shaq. If you've got him going away from the basket to catch the ball, unless you've got a sure thing, you let him catch and just sort of back away from him. That's where you want him to have the ball, Mike.
Karl Malone is back. Slava Medvedenko taking a seat. Open shot for Mark, but he passed it up. Now gets the screen. Derek Martin starting the game for Sam Cassell, who's bothered still by the sore hip and the sore back. But Derek Martin getting a lot of open looks. He's got to hit some shots here.
Well, he was 4 of 11 when he played well in the particular game, so he's not a guy that the Lakers are going to be worried about too much. They're going to give him those shots.
On Fisher again. Derek Fisher, 5 for 7 off the bench. He has 10 points.
We remember the one-year mark. You talked about 15 of 20 in the one series against San Antonio, the 4-game series. He's right back on that kind of pace against the Wolves.
8 unanswered points by the Lakers. Sprewell. Nice touch by Latrell Sprewell. He has 10 points. 38-37. Lakers with the lead. Here's some pressure by Martin. Fisher able to handle. Fisher and Rush now in the backcourt with Shaq, Malone, and George up front. Here is Malone. Lakers shooting well. They're at 50%, 17 of 34.
And they have 14 assists, and that's sort of the barometer. 50+% shooting, 29 assists, and they don't lose.
Able to whip by O'Neal, but could not convert, and the ball back to the Lakers. Here's Kobe Bryant, Gary Payton checking back in, replacing Kareem Rush and Garrett Fisher, who hears the cheers from this crowd.
As we've seen so often in these first 3 games, it seems that one of the 2 teams winds up getting a good run at the end of certain quarters in the game, which eventually winds up making a difference in that particular game. So we'll see who closes out this first half, the last 3.5 minutes, and winds up taking advantage of it.
And in Game 3, it was a 25-10 run by the Lakers in the 3rd period, and the first part of the 4th that broke that open.
O'Neal not able to handle that pass. Malone all over Sprewell, picking him up on a switch. And a pushing foul on Malone for the Lakers, their 4th team foul. It's a non-shooting affair.
You see Malone had no personal fouls up to this point, and then all of a sudden he just gets his body right up into Sprewell, and all Malone's got to do is flick those arms out. He's so strong, it's going to knock him off balance.
All right, here comes Payton. Lakers have hit their last 5 shots. Malone. Bryant for 3. Yes.
This is danger time for Minnesota. Mike, you talked about it. They're on one of those spurts. You're ending out a quarter. They pushed it to a 6-point lead.
22nd timeout called by Flip Saunders. A 13-2 run by the Lakers.
Kobe Bryant gets a real good look. He knows he's got the big man backed up. He's got enough space to raise up over the top of Garnett, get a good look at the 3, so he takes advantage of it.
And the Lakers, their offensive efficiency so dictates how well they play. In the 2 wins, you see they shoot 49%. Look at the assists. And in the loss, 71 points, the poor field goal shooting. Marv, this is a team, the Lakers now, when they play well offensively, they can get back and set up their defense. When they don't play well on the offensive end, the game gets scattered. They don't have great team speed, and that's when you can attack them. Their transition defense is where they are vulnerable. When they're shooting a high percentage, you can't run.
Since Shaquille O'Neal checked back in, Lakers have been able to go on that 13-2 spurt, and looking to add to that. Just under 3 minutes remaining in this first half.
I know Flip Saunders does not like to make excuses, but Martin is 0 for 4 right now. Cassell obviously not playing. They certainly might be able to use Troy Hudson right now, who's out with that knee surgery, not able to play.
Here's George from downtown. Minnesota's hit only 1 of its last 8 shots. Garnett, the tip by Serbiak. And deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Bryant. 2:13 remaining in this first half. Timeout is called. Lakers have a 6-point advantage. The usual capacity crowd here at Staples, better than 19,000. Including NBA Commissioner David Stern telling Adam Silver, who's president of NBA Entertainment, you know, I really enjoy that HD TV. Eddie Murphy and Paul Anka on hand, as is Prince, who performed here last night. And, of course, Jack talking with Flip Saunders earlier about some of the conversations that he has been having with Jack Nicholson. He says, you know, sometimes he calls me Flip, sometimes he calls me Skip or Skippy. He's not quite sure if he knows what his name is. Garnett being played by Malone. Time he had to force it up. Just under 2 minutes to play in this first half. Lakers 43 and the T-Wolves 37.
6 of 17 shooting now for Minnesota in this period. Garnett's taken 13 shots.
Oh, what a pass, a look away. Malone not able to hit and missed on the follow.
Well, Garnett has taken 13 shots, Marvin, has not been able to get to the free throw line. He's 5 of 13.
Serbiak on a quick release. Good job by O'Neal with Garnett. And Johnson pursuing that loose ball.
Shaq knew that he didn't put a body on Johnson. He almost gave up that offensive rebound, so he more than made up for it by going after the second opportunity, big and strong.
12 rebounds for Shaquille O'Neal. He now has 8 points. That using that glass effectively.
Well, he loves that little spin move, and he knows exactly where he is, and he kisses that ball off the glass on the angle. That's why you have to try to get him out of that spot. He knows exactly where he is on the floor.
Oh, nice pass. Serbiak from Garnett. And Kevin Garnett with assist number 4.
Minnesota doing just enough to hang around, and like Flip Saunders said, the longer we hang around on the road, the better we give ourselves a chance of stealing one, particularly here against this team.
And the T-Wolves at 27 and 14 on the road during the regular season. That was the best road record in the West. Here's Bryant. Kept alive by George. Minnesota did win on the road twice in the postseason at Denver and Sacramento. Here's Payton coming up short. Rebounded by Bryant. And now they shut off the 24-second clock. They can hold it for these final 10 seconds.
Minnesota has a foul to give right now if they're going to take one.
And there is that foul. Will it count? No. Basket will not count. He does not get the continuation.
The question is, he took it a little bit too early. Now they still have 8 seconds to go. Kobe threw the shot up when he heard the whistle. It will not count. It looks like Kobe's going to take this ball in. Remember, sometimes the most dangerous guy in this situation is the guy throwing it in.
They empty the side of the floor. He passes and cuts. He reads his defensive man and goes opposite if it's for him.
7 seconds remaining in the half. Here is Bryant using the pin. He thought he was fouled. It goes over the top of the glass. No call made. A technical foul on Kobe Bryant. Remember, he was hit with a tee, which is uncharacteristic of Kobe, but he was teed up in game 3, and he thought he was fouled off that screen jumper, and is called for the technical by Jack Neese. So Serbiak will take the free throw.
Kobe's complaint is that he was hit on the arm. We'll see if we can see it right here. Tough to see if Sprewell actually gets him on the inside of the arm or doesn't get him from that particular angle. But, you know, all Kobe said basically was call a foul. He winds up getting a technical foul for that.
Final seconds of the half. Here's Garnett from center court. Well, Kevin Garnett scoreless the last 9 minutes of this first half, although he and Sprewell are the high point men for Minnesota. They each have 10. Shaquille O'Neal, 8 points, 12 rebounds, 3 block shots. And Derek Fisher off the bench, 5 of 7 from the field, 10 points. He's with Craig Sagan.
Well, 10 points in just 13 minutes. Derek, how surprised are you they keep leaving you open?
Well, I mean, if we execute offensively, somebody's going to be open. You know, if we play the game the way it's supposed to be played, that's what offenses are designed to do, get guys open, and I'm open sometimes tonight.
Once again, you guys didn't know if Kobe would be here on time. You stayed an hour after practice, extra shots, an hour before practice tonight, more extra shots. What was the feeling in the locker room about tonight's game?
Well, we know this is a game that we have to win. You know, everybody talks about must-win games, but, you know, we can't forget that this team has a home court advantage, and losing this game gives it back to them. So if we can win this game, you know, that gives us what we feel like would be 3 opportunities to close this series out, and hopefully we can do that and play better in the second half. We're on the up 5 right now. We got a lot of work ahead of us.
All right, thanks a lot, Derek. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Craig, Lakers end up shooting 45% for the half. T-Wolves at 38%. Coming up, Verizon Wireless at the half with Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Magic. Lakers by 5 at halftime.
The Verizon Wireless halftime report live from Staples Center, where the Lakers lead at 45-40 in Game 4 of the Western Conference Final, trying to extend their lead to 3-1. Kobe Bryant arriving just before 5 o'clock local time, an hour and 15 minutes or so before tip-off here of Game 4. He had left about 12 hours before that for Colorado on another day of pre-trial motions in his sexual assault case. He was here in plenty of time for Game 4, but got off to a sluggish start in this one, just 1 out of 4 in the first quarter for 4 points, Magic.
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, he's still setting the table for the team, even though he didn't shoot, you know, well from the beginning of the game. He's still out on the court, and that's what the Lakers needed, him to be here and still excite the crowd and also get the players going, because Kobe can do that whether he's playing well or not. Just the fact that he showed up and he's on the court, he can still make a lot of things happen.
Did connect on the three-pointer there late in the half, 9 points on 3 out of 9. Derek Fisher leads them with 10 in a 45-40 game. We welcome you to the Staples Center. Ernie Johnson, Hall of Famer Magic Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley.
If you're not early, you're late. You got jokes already. It wasn't funny when I'm sitting behind that accident and I was counting those minutes. It wouldn't have been funny if it was you. So
Okay.
Don't make jokes about it.
Meantime, you have some analysis of the first half.
Yes, I do. How did he know he wasn't here? I was here the whole half. Knock it off. Anyway, no, the Laker game right now, to me, and we were talking about this in the back, it's too easy. To me, it looks like a walk in the park, and that's what Minnesota has to be aware of. And also the Lakers as well, because, look, these are easy buskets. Devin George going in, slamming. But the one thing you'll notice is Karl Malone. After he takes this jump shot, it's kind of everyone has their home run shot. Devin George just had one. Karl Malone gets a wide open look. He says, I don't want it, I take it, shoot. And then they all go back into this home run trot. This is not playoff intensity basketball. The game is too easy right now for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Minnesota Timberwolves have to make them get on their heels, make it uncomfortable if they want to win this game and possibly this series. Two things I noticed. Shaquille O'Neal was awesome on the rebound end. He played with great energy. Second thing, Doug touched on it. I wonder, Kevin Garnett is playing so hard. They're making him work so hard. I wonder, can he sustain that late in the fourth quarter? But I agree with Kenny. The Lakers are doing their normal little coaching thing.
10 points on 5 out of 14 for Kevin Garnett, who said he was going to be more aggressive here in Game 4.
He is, and what Doug hit it right on the point of being active. His activity is just, he's going after baskets. He's trying to make things happen. Even though he doesn't have the shot a lot of times, he's going in there and making it happen. In the early going, he got to the basket, got a couple of dunks. So he's making it happen for them, but the energy, can he But also, I think Flip Saunders is right. They're hitting him from times where he should be getting fouls. They're not giving him the respect that an MVP deserves. He's getting hit a couple times by Shaquille and Karl, and those are fouls, and the refs are not calling them.
Flip Saunders trying to plant that seed in the day off between games, saying he's got to get some calls. Meantime, on the Lakers F troop, we're talking Fox and Fisher. And here's Rick Fox, who had 3 points in 95 minutes of postseason play, looking unstoppable early.
Well, you know, Coach Jackson wanted to get him out there for his defense, really. But also when he gives you some offense, you feel good about it.
And how about Derek Fisher?
And Derek Fisher's just been incredible the whole playoff, not just in this game, but the last series against San Antonio, the first series against Houston, and he's carrying that over to this series against Minnesota. Give Derek Fisher a lot of credit because most guys would not have accepted that role of being the sixth man, letting Gary Payton take his starting role, but he has kept being professional, and he's always come out with a positive attitude, and he has delivered for the Lakers.
Not only has he accepted it, he has savored it as of late, especially
no question about it.
In this postseason. 45-40 is the score. The Lakers leading by 5 over Minnesota. Eddie Murphy is here. In Shrek, he's Donkey, correct?
Yeah, he's funny. Shrek won.
And there go Gollum.
Leave him alone.
We got Shrek and Gollum here.
Ain't nobody calling you Fat Albert. Ain't nobody calling you that, so leave him alone.
The halftime report from the Western Conference Finals is brought to you by Verizon Wireless, the official wireless provider of the NBA.
Can you hear me now? Good.
A 2004 NBA Western Conference Finals, only on TNT. Hollywood's A-list was out at Staples Center to watch the Lakers take the next step towards a 3-1 series lead. Led by Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, they pushed out to the lead at the break. Kevin Garnett must show his MVP form in the second half. If the Timberwolves are to have any chance, the drama of the Western Conference Finals continues on TNT.
Welcome back. Staples Center, Los Angeles. Here by Santa Monica Pier. The Los Angeles Lakers have a 45-40 lead on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, the Czar, Mike Fratello. Doug, let's start with the Gatorade X Factor in that first half.
Well, the X Factor has been Derek Fisher. He's been terrific off the bench in 13 minutes, 5 of 7 shooting. He has 10 points. He is the Lakers' leading scorer, and he really has given his team a lift. You can see in games 1 through 3, only 8 points. Tonight, 10. He's playing with a ferocity on the floor, and interestingly enough, in the last 9 playoff games against Minnesota, 27 of 42 from the three-point range. Although no threes tonight, he really wears this team out.
As I was talking with Flip Saunders earlier, he said he wanted to see a more assertive Kevin Garnett. Well, 14 shots in the first half, which is a pretty good number, although he is only 5 of 14.
Consider the fact that he's averaging 18 shots a game in the first 3 games. He already 14 in the first half, all 24 minutes. So perhaps because Cassell's gone, he feels he's got to do just that much more to get a win.
Let's take a look at tonight's Jeep game summary. Lakers were shooting right around the 50% mark most of the first half. At the half, 19 of 42, they're 45%. T-Wolves 17 of 45 at 38%.
You know, it continues to happen. The Lakers continue to shoot so much better than teams did during the course of the regular season against this Minnesota defense. They held their opponents to just 42%, which was 4th best in the league. The Lakers going into this game shooting almost 46% in the first 3 games against them.
And once again, just to tag their efficiency ratings on offense, they have 16 assists already on 19 field goals, only 7 total turnovers. So once again, they're approaching that 29 assists, that field goal percentage shooting. And when they do that, they are tough to beat.
Let's go over to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marv, at halftime, Kenny Smith mentioned they thought that for the Lakers it was like a walk in the park. They didn't have a playoff intensity. Talked to the coaching staff. They had similar thoughts. They said there's no rhythm out there, and they thought that Minnesota was providing more energy, and they were worried about the fact that they only had a 5-point lead. They were encouraged that Kevin Garnett had played all 24 minutes. They'll continue to try to wear him down with Karl Malone. Cheryl?
Well, Craig, Coach Saunders said for the second half, the 2 areas that they really need to concentrate on. Number 1 is rebounding. Too many offensive board for the Lakers. And number 2, we just need to take our time. We rushed a lot of shots in the first half. Also, Marv, just a quick update on Sam Cassell, who did not play in the first half, should see some minutes in the second.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. Yes, Flip Saunders telling us earlier that he did not expect that Sam would start, coming off the action that he saw in game number 3. He continues to ride the stationary bike, but he said if needed, he will not hesitate to use him in the second half.
Well, the one thing he said, Sam could make shots if he's in a chair. He knows he can do that. It's defending and putting pressure. That's the concern.
And is the game close enough for them to be able to win? They will not put him in a game where there is a 15 or 16 point differential. It would do no good. And now Garnett, finally getting to the free throw line, his first 2 attempts of the night after the 14 field goal attempts in the first half.
Foul charge to O'Neal for Shaq. It is number 3. Minnesota only 2 of 14 from the field over the last 8.5 minutes.
So much a barometer of Minnesota is Garnett's free throw attempts and the wins. He shoots almost 10 a game, in the losses under 4. And tonight he's being aggressive. I thought he's gone to the basket a couple times. It looked like he's got bumped a little bit, but has not gotten the whistle. He cannot fall into just being the jump shooter. He's got to continue to be aggressive as he was on this play. Maybe he'll start getting to the line, Mike.
And for Garnett, his first points in the last 10 minutes. Lakers now lead at 45-42. Here's Bryant putting behind the back. Slipping it to Malone. Malone rebounded by O'Neal. And there's not much you can do against that power move by Shaquille O'Neal.
I'm going to take the foul before he goes up.
Derek Martin opening at the point. Martin and Hassel in the backcourt. Here's Martin knocking down the three-pointer. So Derek Martin, who missed his first 4 shots, is able to hit for 3.
Well, he could really loosen it up for Kevin Garnett if he could make some shots. That's what Cassell normally does.
Bryant had nowhere to go, had to kick it out. Here is Payton for 3. Rebounded by Bryant.
So those are the shots that Payton was making in the last game. 3-pointers set behind the line. A lot of time to get him off. The athleticism of Bryant following up with the lay-in.
Martin. Well, that was not a good shot. And Payton able to release and score.
Well, when you run at a jump shooter at the three-point line, you just keep going. No one rotating back. From Minnesota, they've given up 2 offensive rebounds for scores and now a run out on the fast break. So 3 easy baskets for the Lakers to start this period.
Lakers 51, Timberwolves 45. Sprewell. Good job by Hassel to keep it alive, and then Garnett with the tip. What a play by Kevin Garnett.
Just a great effort that time. He kept it alive and then wound up reaching over the top of Malone to stick that thing back in the basket.
Lakers up by 4. Lakers trying to take a 3-1 lead in this best of 7. T-Wolves want to return to target center, tied at the 2 of the basket. Will it count? No. Foul before the shot attempt. Foul on Hassel.
Jackie Neese gave it a second because I think he was trying to decide whether he wanted to count the shot and give the foul. But, the foul actually is way ahead, as you'll see. Malone with the handoff, and then there's the pull. And as Malone goes down, obviously Kobe has not shot the ball yet.
Shot clock down to 5. O'Neal is fouled. Martin came over to help as Shaq was taking it to the basket. It's called on Derek Martin. That is his first. Derek played his college ball at UCLA, grew up here in LA, St. Anthony's in Long Beach. He's played for Vancouver, Sacramento, Dallas, LA Clippers, spent much time in the CBA. Played for the Globetrotters. He was with Magic Johnson's barnstorming all-star team, and then was signed originally to a 10-day contract when Troy Hudson was injured.
Well, and they talked to Magic Johnson said, you know what, to be in this league, Derek, and to do what's necessary, we have a lane violation. He says one of the things as a point guard is don't turn the basketball over. And Derek Martin, one of the reasons why he's playing right now for Flip Saunders, he trusts him to run his offense and not turn the basketball over. Remember, they go back with each other in the CBA, so just be efficient.
Players around the lane can move off the release, and Shaq has that herky-jerky release, and it's very difficult to time. Lakers 52, Timberwolves 47. We are early in the third. A hacking foul on Bryant making contact with Sprewell. That is Bryant's second personal. Game 5 in this best of 7 Saturday night back in Minneapolis and here on TNT starting 8:30 Eastern time. It's a rare Minnesota turnover. Here is Bryant. Look out. And And last touch by the Timberwolves.
Shaq is just so big that he clears people's bodies out of there. He goes up with Irvin Johnson, winds up on the ground with Irvin Johnson because of the size of him here. Johnson comes over, makes the stop, so it's a good rotation on the baseline, but there's Shaq working for inside position. Instead, he just jumps over the top of him.
Well, he's wearing down the front line of Minnesota. His bulk and his activity tonight, he's really quick off his feet.
Although Candy is back, replacing Johnson. And a foul is on Oliver Candy. That's number 4 in 6 minutes of play.
Now, there are times to take the foul, and then there's sometimes that you don't want to give one up unnecessarily. I'm not quite sure why he took that.
Well, Mike, if you're going to go hack-a-Shaq, you can't have him getting that foul. He's got 4 fouls. Now, how are you going to use him late in the game? That means you're going to have to go to Gary Trent and Madsen and some of these other guys to take fouls if you're going to go to fouling away from the basketball late in the game.
Here is O'Neal, foul this time by Garnett. And that's 2 on Kevin Garnett.
Wound up switching a little flash in the lane by Shaquille O'Neal. Kevin Garnett winds up on him. I mean, that's just a mismatch as far as the size of Shaq versus Garnett. Watch the switch right there. Although Candy winds up staying on Karl Malone, that leaves Kevin Garnett with Shaquille. There's just no way.
When Shaq catches the ball with a foot in the lane, when he gets that foot in the painted area, you're really not going to be able to defend him. And what he does not bring the ball down low. He pivots and he keeps his arms up high and he turns into you. And the official has to either call the foul on you or him, but there's going to be something that's going to be called on that play.
Well, Shaq is now 5 of 8 at the line, and here are the T-Wolves putting themselves in a position where next foul, they're in the penalty with 8.5 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter. Hassel had nowhere to go. Bryant met by Sprewell. Good job by Sprewell bothering Bryant, who's able to go behind his back, and he's called for a traveling violation.
Trenton Hassel came over a little bit, gave some help, tried to plug that opening as Bryant went past Sprewell, and it winds up Kobe getting the 2-foot takeoff. Here's the split. Now watch. Dribbles picked up, pop. I'm not quite sure that is a travel. In Europe, it's not. I know that. In Europe.
Now, I believe that would be a travel in most areas. Here's Sprewell for 3. And the Lakers continue to dominate off the board. Bryant taking all the way. He was trying to draw the foul. Here comes Sprewell. And the foul on Payton. That's number 3 on Gary Payton.
Here Kobe trying to find the seam, tries to take it up. He feels that Martin moved underneath him and hit him with the left arm, turns to the official as he comes down the floor and says, call the foul. And we finally see Sam Cassell entering the game for Minnesota.
We see it's a 7-point game, and I think Flip says, you know what, the game is now. Maybe he can come in and do that, yes. Make a few shots. He said he could make them sitting in a chair, so obviously he knows his player, Mike.
Well, Flip going for the big right-hander out of the bullpen, and Sam never hesitates.
Well, he's a middle reliever. He's not quite the closer here, so.
Devin George, right back. Lakers lead by 6.
I mean, how about, it's like a coach calling a timeout, drawing up a play, the team comes out, executes it, gets a basket. He puts Sam in. First thing he does, ball gets to Sam, he knocks down the jump shot.
And the foul on Malone. Malone was trying to draw a charge and hit the floor. You see Sam Cassell is hobbling.
Well, this is part of the game that's missing without Cassell. That's the pick and roll game that Minnesota likes to use. Malone jumps out hard on him. He doesn't want to give Cassell a look. Cassell with that elbow to protect it. Whether it's a trip, whether it's a block, whether it's an offensive foul, you can decide that one.
Lakers with that 14th foul. Here is Garnett. Beautiful spin. And the Laker lead is down to 4.
I think the guy who's going to benefit most from Sam Cassell being back in the game is Garnett. He's going to make his job easier, not have to work as hard for his points.
O'Neal facing the double. And Jack Neese The outside official calling a technical on Phil Jackson. See Jack pointing over at the Laker bench. Apparently Phil had something to say.
You know, Derek Fisher made a great point at halftime to Craig Sager. The pressure is on the Lakers to win this game tonight. They don't have the home court, Marvin, to see Szczerbiak make the free throw. If Minnesota wins this game, they steal the home court back. So what looks like right now, everybody thinks the Lakers are so in control of this series. Minnesota's one road win from being right back into the driver's seat with a home court.
And as we mentioned earlier, they have won on the road in the postseason. They've done it twice. They did it at Denver in that first round series, did it at Sacramento. They are an excellent road team. 6.5 remaining in the third. Lakers by 3. Here's Bryant. He's been off, rebounded by Olowokandi. So Kobe Bryant is now 4 for 13.
Now, besides the big team, as Flip Saunders likes to call it, that's when they go to zone. When Cassell comes in the game, because of his liabilities with his back, they'll play a lot of zone then.
Olowokandi not able to hit. Garnett trying to keep it alive. Bryant is on it, pops it down, and a foul is called. And Minnesota is over the limit. Foul on Cassell.
That's a bad foul because you foul 60 feet away from the basket, nothing happening, and you're going to put Kobe Bryant on the line. Marv, you talked about he's struggling in this period. He's only 4 of 13 for the game. Now you let him get a free throw line. Is this going to be another technical? Gary Payton gets a technical.
Well, these are bad technical fouls being taken by the Lakers. I mean, you can say that about technical fouls at any time, but you can feel the game turning. Minnesota closing in. First it was Phil Jackson, and now Gary Payton, and it's a 2-point game.
And you know, the one problem about getting a technical foul, you get the wrong official with a quick trigger who doesn't remember who's got that technical out there. That next one, he's out of the game. And for the Lakers, Doug, who count on those starters having to produce, they can't afford to lose one of those key guys.
Are you saying that if the official realizes he has teed someone up earlier, he's going to hold back and hesitate?
There's no question about it. The officials know who have technical fouls, and they will back off giving that second one rather than throw a prominent player out of the game.
And here is the technical being called on Payton. Bernie Fryer tees him up.
Taunting technical. He said something to Garnett as he walked by, and then to Wally Szczerbiak as he walked by as well. We know Gary loves to chatter out there, and I think that because of the chippiness in game 2, the referees don't want this game to slip away.
Yes, so we saw 7 technical fouls called, a total of 7 in the fourth quarter, and there was that flagrant foul 2 on Karl Malone, which led to the ejection. Ball back to the Lakers. And that leads to a timeout. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Lakers with a 4-point lead. The 2004 Western Conference Finals on TNT are being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Over 2,800 non-stop daily flights to 60 destinations all across the country. And by Jeep, the most respected, honored, and heroic 4x4s out there. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
When the Lakers were down 0-2 to San Antonio, Phil Jackson told his players to look in the mirror, decide where they were in their career, said this is a team with a nebulous future. Well, the same is true of Jackson, who's in the final year of his contract.
Where will you be a year from now?
I don't know. I'd like to be in Alaska fishing, right, a year from now. That's a great time to be in Alaska fishing, but I don't know if I will or not. I might not be.
Yes, May, June. Wonderful time to be fishing in Alaska. It has been another tumultuous season for Phil Jackson and the Lakers. Lakers front office was negotiating with Phil, and right around the All-Star break, they pulled the deal off the table as Kobe Bryant is able to drill it from downtown. Lakers now lead by 7.
Minnesota came out, they played zone, the Lakers swung the ball, and Sam Cassell really was the closest guy to make that push over to that area, but he didn't. Szczerbiak tried to come out, couldn't get there in time.
Lakers plus 17 rebounding now. How are they even within 7? They're shooting under 39% and being out-rebounded by 17.
Oh, it counts, and the foul! A sensational shot on the reverse by Kobe Bryant.
Look, there aren't too many times you see Karl Malone and Shaquille O'Neal walk over and give somebody a high five. That one deserved it right there. Both big men come right over to him. Both of them acknowledge the fact that that was some shot.
And this is a great timeout by Flip Saunders. This crowd is finally in the game. You've got to use your timeouts to control the surges in the crowd on the road.
A 7-0 run by the Lakers, and Bryant will head to the line. It was a very quiet crowd this past Tuesday night, in contrast to what we heard during the San Antonio series, where it was deafening, and for the first time tonight, as you mentioned, the crowd is into it.
Kobe just trying to make something happen, catching Minnesota in the zone, able to turn the corner and drive baseline. The help comes too late. Just a spectacular shot.
Well, Tuesday night in Game 3, Kobe did not score in the first half, 0 for 2 from the field, and turned it in the second half. The difference tonight, he was looking for a shot in the first half. He was not hitting a shot.
Marv, you think about this. Kobe was 4 of 13 and was struggling, and Cassell fouled him 50 feet away from the basket. They were in the penalty. He made 2 free throws, made a 3, now made a spectacular play, does miss the free throw, but sometimes going to the free throw line is all a scorer needs to get himself going.
That's how he got himself going actually in the last game. If you remember, he made 3 straight free throws and then finally started to hit his field goal.
Garnett, yes. Kevin Garnett comes right back with a gorgeous spin against Karl Malone. Lakers now lead 63-56, just under 5 minutes to play in the third.
And as Doug mentioned, if they're going to play Minnesota through Kevin Garnett, they've got shooters on the floor right now. You've got Cassell, Serbiak, and Sprewell that can all make perimeter shots if the Lakers go double.
Here's O'Neal, and he's headed back to the line. Sam Cassell was trying to help out, but Irvin Johnson then had single coverage and just picked up his third.
Shaq is a very proud man, as we all know, and there's many instances on the season when he struggles shooting free throws. He goes back into the gym at 11:30 or 12 o'clock at night where nobody's around and works on his free throw shooting. Now, he doesn't want to give the appearance that it bothers him not making free throw, and it does. So in these moments like this, he wants to be able to convert.
Shaq now 5 of 9 at the line. A reminder, tomorrow night on ESPN, it's the Pacers and the Pistons in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And then Sunday night on ESPN, game number 5 in that series, coverage starting 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Sprewell with the step and the foul on George. He thought he had a clean block shot.
I'd have to say that was a pretty good call from my angle here, because yes, does he get ball, but he comes over the top of the shoulder. At least that's the way it looks. Penetration, and then from behind, George felt it was a good block. Can't convince him it wasn't.
Anytime you swing that arm down, it's a red flag for the official to call the foul. Anytime you swing it down.
Irvin Johnson, a guy who does not get to the line frequently, only a 60% free throw shooter during the regular season. Rushes the free throw.
Well, missed opportunities. You're trying to stay around close. The Lakers are trying to get him a little distance here to finish the period.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Bryant, yes. Well, Kobe is feeling it. 20 points for Kobe Bryant. 11 of the 20 here in the third. Cassell. Tommy changed the angle on that shot with O'Neal conversion. Good look. Hey, but Malone blew the layup. Here's Malone, stripped. And knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Malone.
Malone trying to get it up there so quick because he was wide open. He knew somebody was going to close on him. So he tries to get it up there quickly. Has a little problem because of the rim being in front of him that time. Misses the easy one.
pass. Serbiak taking it from Garnett.
Well, the Lakers are starting to play that screen where he's been coming out all night long to catch it on the jump shot. That time he sets him up and goes right on the back door and gets the layup.
Reach and foul on Sprewell. That'll put Bryant back to the line. The Timberwolves are over the limit.
Another one of those fouls that you wind up slapping the ball, trying to get a deflection or steal, and as a result, when you miss it, you wind up giving 2 easy points to the Lakers.
Kobe 4 of 5 at the line.
It's also the risk you run when you start getting into that hack-a-shack or start fouling early in the clock. The penalty, Kobe's going to have that ball in his hands. And every time you touch it, he's going to the line, and he shoots free throws so well, you're almost giving him 2 points.
Bryant has scored the last 10 points for the Lakers. Kobe Bryant had a pre-trial hearing in Eagle, Colorado earlier today. Arrived at the Staples about an hour and 10 minutes prior to the opening tip. Did not shoot well in the first half, but has come out strong here in the third. See, Garnett was looking to feel the body, the old pull the chair trick, and Malone puts it down.
That was a 3-on-0 fast break. Minnesota going so hard to the boards, nobody getting back.
Purcell is open for 3. Rebounded by Sprewell. Fouled by Devin George. 2:44 remaining in the third. Timeout taken. Lakers up 69-58.
Anybody could have taken this shot. Kobe decides to give it up. He felt bad that the mailman missed the last layup.
One-time teammates with the Boston Celtics. On the left, Kevin McHale, now the Vice President of Basketball Operations for the T-Wolves, and Danny Ainge, the Executive Director of Basketball Operations with the Boston Celtics. Talking basketball here at Staples.
Doug, I'm not trying to patronize you right now, but 2 nights ago, sitting in the hotel, having a glass of milk with everyone, Doug, of course, Kevin McHale flips on, and just to hear the stories going back and forth between McHale, Doug, the old days, how it used to be, some of the conditions I had to travel in and play under. Flip and I just watched and looked in amazement at some of the things that used to go on.
Well, I think now you see Danny Ainge, you see Kevin McHale both leading their respective franchises. How about Larry Bird leading Indiana? 2 teams that are in the you talk about McHale's team, Bird's team still playing. That team was a very brilliant basketball team, not only talent-wise, but basketball IQ brilliant.
Did the Czar contribute at all to that conversation?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I said, come on, Flip.
Yes,
I said, come on, Flip. It's time for us to go to bed.
All right, here is Bryant. Yes, and it counts. So Kobe Bryant will head back to the line, and Kobe has taken over in this third quarter.
Dribble penetration through the porous defense that Minnesota is trying to play. And I think the Lakers see right now that if they make a couple passes, put it on the floor hard, they can catch that combination or zone defense and find an opening.
This all again started with that inconsequential foul away from the basket by Cassell. Since then, Kobe is off and running.
25 points for Bryant. He has scored 13 of the Lakers' last 15. Garnett unable to hit. Facing pressure from Malone. Here's Fisher delivering to Malone, and a foul on Oliver Miller, who had just come on.
And you know, Kevin Garnett has not said really a word in the series about fouls, but that time coming down the floor, Garnett was upset. He felt he was hit on the drive to the basket. He felt he had turned the corner. No whistle. Garnett had finally had something to say.
Kobe Bryant has just taken over here in the third quarter. Did not shoot particularly well in the first half. But he has been the offense.
And you can see what's happening now, too, Marv, with the Lakers is anytime they can, when Malone goes to the line and misses here, Karl Malone is trying to run Kevin Garnett every time he gets a chance. He's trying to make it tough on one end, sprint the floor, and to me, when you talk about Karl Malone, to me, he's the greatest running power forward to ever play the game. This guy runs most every possession, especially when he's in Utah.
When you're talking about Malone, who's played only 34 minutes so far in this game, and I believe we've only been playing for 34 minutes, so he's been out on the floor the entire time by now.
Garnett tied up. Kobe doing it at both ends.
I was referring to Garnett's 34 minutes, that Malone trying to run him. That was the idea.
We were so confused.
In case you were lost.
Doug and I were looking at each other. Like,
Doug wasn't. Doug knew exactly what I meant. He knew exactly.
I could see from the facial expression. Doug, we're trying to get you involved, but you just will not say anything negative about the job.
I'm just the catalyst between you two, that's all.
So Kobe Bryant controls the tip. Just under 2 to go in this third quarter. 13-point Laker lead. Bryant for 3. Nice touch by Sprewell. So the Lakers have the new shot clock. A 17-6 run here by Los Angeles. Sprewell up on Bryant. Rush. Not able to hit from downtown. Handled by Miller. Sprewell. And Malone fighting for position to get to the basketball.
The Lakers have just quietly worn Minnesota down. Their front line, their power, Malone and Shaq. Just the banging, the inside, the rebounding, just worn them down.
Rush is open again. Kept alive by O'Neal. Nice touch on the wall.
And Shaq was trying to throw a no-look pass. He knew that no one was on Karl Malone behind him. He had 3 black jerseys around him. He tried to throw the pass, but it got deflected.
Plus 21 rebounds now for the Lakers, and that man right there has set the tone. He has 19. The Minnesota team has 24. Again, he doesn't have the big offensive numbers, but his presence inside has been felt dramatically by the Wolves.
Slava Medvedenko has come on for Shaquille O'Neal. Bryant lost it, able to recover, and then lost the dribble. So the T-Wolves get it back. Mark Madsen, Fred Hoiberg come on. We're down to 31 seconds remaining in the third.
That's one of the times where Phil Jackson would like to see the ball passed and moved. And Kobe has to understand it's always going to come back to him. He doesn't have to do it off the dribble all the time. Get it around the horn, go flash it to the low post, they'll find you.
Lakers up by 13. Miscommunication on the part of the T-Wolves, so Lakers get it back. 19 seconds to go in this third quarter. Flipson is trying to send on Kevin Garnett, and now the substitution is waved off.
They'll go to their open set. Phil gives him that signal, which means he'll put the man in the middle of the floor with the ball that he wants to create, try to beat his man off the dribble. They usually clear one of the wings through and put a shooter in the corner. The idea is if anybody comes to help, that shooter will be wide open in the corner. We'll see who clears through, if it's Karl Malone or if it's Medvedenko.
Final seconds of the third. Bryant able to extend. Kobe Bryant, 16 of the last 19 points for the Lakers. Sprewell gets it off in time. So for Kobe, 18 of his 27 points here in the third.
What they did is from the open set, instead of starting it out with Kobe, they did a little dribble handoff at the end. They started it with Fisher. Kobe came around at the end and finished it off.
Back at Staples in Los Angeles, time for Fast on Their Feet, presented by Lamisil.
Every once in a while, you get a play that brings people to their feet and something you'll always remember. That's one for Kobe Bryant, very reminiscent of Michael Jordan to me versus Los Angeles. I think it was Game 4 where Jordan switched hands underneath. Look at that one, floating from one side to the other, banking it off the glass for Kobe Bryant.
And I had a ringside seat for Dr. J. Julius doing the same thing in the finals against the Lakers. So some spectacular plays that we've seen through the years. I remember one guy go a spectacular move by Jordan. Who was that?
It's an excellent recreation. Fourth quarter is underway as Kevin Garnett is able to knock it down, and the Lakers now lead 75-62. Kobe Bryant with 18 of his 27 points in the third quarter. You see Sam Cassell hobbling his way back to the Minnesota locker room. So Sam gave it a try. Here's Bryant, rebounded by Garnett. Cassell played 5 minutes, went 1 of 4 from the field.
The Lakers' tendency is when they get a lead like this, they get a little lazy, a little comfortable, they let you back in the game. Minnesota's got to keep pecking away.
Lakers with a strong finish to the third, a 19-6 spurt. Serbiak, yes. So it's an 11-point Los Angeles lead, and here's some pressure being shown by the T-Wolves. Hoiberg got picked off. Fisher putting moves on Garnett. Green rush in the backcourt with Derek Fisher. Kobe Bryant moving up front. He's there with Malone and Medvedenko. The shot clock down to 3. Fisher. It counts, and the foul. Derek Fisher fouled on that jump shot, and he'll go to the line.
Has anybody made more big shots for this organization? Obviously, Shaq and Kobe leading him in scoring, but talking about clutch shots at key times for him, this guy just has a knack for it.
Well, you look up at his score and you say, well, it's only an 11-point game. It's not very big. It is when you're the Lakers and you have a tendency to let down in these situations. So now a chance to push that lead back up to 14.
Foul on Hoiberg. Fisher to the line for the first time. Derek, hero of Game 5 in San Antonio, now etched in Laker lore. This after a regular season where he shot only 35%. He averaged 7 points. Lost his starting job to Gary Payton. And has handled it extremely well. Kevin Garnett once again. Lakers now lead 78-66.
Coincide with what Doug was saying about Lakers letting you back in. Keep in mind that Minnesota 5th best in the league at shooting the three-pointer, so they can make up points quickly on you from behind the three-point line.
Medvedenko to O'Neal.
Shaq's got to let you know that was his left hand. He goes, you know what? That's my weak hand, left hand.
Lakers 80, T-Wolves 66. Serbiak, he thought he was fouled. Rebounded by Medvedenko. Medvedenko with the shot. Air ball, and the ball back to Minnesota.
Slava said, look, if I'm going to be a point guard and throw this pass, which leads to the great dunk by Shaquille O'Neal, Slava feels he's got to come back and at least get a shot at the basket. Shaq, letting you know that, is that my left hand that did that? Let me talk to that for a second.
Garnett is held by Medvedenko. Oh, and Medvedenko took a slap at Garnett. That's a technical foul.
Well, Medvedenko's got to know he's not going to get away with that against Kevin Garnett. You know, Karl Malone might get away with a little bit of chippiness, but they're going to stop that immediately. You're never going to let an inferior player against the MVP do that. It's not going to happen. Obviously, he's upset with the foul. He gave him a little nudge.
Serbiak will shoot the technical, so the Lakers pick up their third tee. Earlier, Phil Jackson, Gary Payton called on technicals. Lakers up by 13 points. Kobe Bryant also assessed a technical foul. That's their fourth tee. 9.5 to play in this fourth quarter. Hassel with 1 on the shot clock. Should have taken the shot. He obviously lost sight of the clock.
Good job of making the rotations by the Lakers. They are covered up on those back picks that have been hurting them. They come from the opposite side on the rotation. Whenever somebody is back picked and his man is open on that flare move, the Lakers go into a full rotation with their perimeter people.
Shaq at the high post now being played by Matson. Shot clock to 5. Bryant spinning. And here comes Hassel. It's a 4-on-2. Lakers get back. T-Wolves couldn't find the shot, but Hoiberg does and knocks down a 3. Fred Hoiberg has been reluctant to take the shot. Not that time.
You know, he was so vital in that Sacramento series. He and Hassel, they were the two guys that were helping off of to key in on Garnett. They had big series. Lakers not giving them open shots, and Mike talked about it. Minnesota's capable of shooting the 3, getting back in the game.
And Hoiberg, a 44% three-point shooter during the regular season. Bryant for O'Neal. He is triple teamed. It counts. And the foul.
There is the perfect opportunity to take the foul before he goes up and shoot the ball. You had 3 players surrounded. Now foul him. You know he's too close. Don't give him a chance to shoot it and then foul him. You have to put him on the line. Don't give up the 3-point opportunity.
It is just past 8:15 here in L.A. We welcome you back to Staples Center. Leonardo DiCaprio on hand, as is David Arquette. Steven Spielberg has been a regular. Brian Wilson, Justin Timberlake, and Usher. Down to 8:18 remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Lakers lead it 82-70. O'Neal is 5 of 10 at the line. Shaquille O'Neal extends to a 13-point lead. And Rick Fox, who just checked back in, is called for the foul.
A little slip of the back pick that time. Serbiak was the screener coming out of the corner. He came up to back pick, but then he dove the lane himself, caught the defender on his back.
Minnesota with Garnett, Madsen, Sprewell up front. Garnett battling as he's triple teamed. Shot clock down to 2. Sprewell for 3. And the foul on Garnett. Well, they called it the other way.
I'm wondering if he came down out of bounds before the foul took place. That's what I'm wondering. Malone's feet may have touched first, and then Garnett slapped him over the back.
Apparently that is what the call is. Malone was out of bounds, so the foul is nullified. Hoiberg able to slip it to Madsen. Nice play. 83-72. Lakers. Gary Payton back on the floor. So Phil Jackson has a combination of Payton and Fisher. Kobe Bryant sitting down. O'Neal, Malone, and Fox up front. Here is Fox. Sprewell with the lead, broken up by Fox, but recovered. Hoiberg for 3. Hoiberg hit a 3 just a moment ago.
That's a good shot, though. Flip will take that. He said, I don't mind us shooting shots if we step into them. I don't dribble into 3s.
Malone making contact with Garnett. Serbiak.
So there's 2 wide open looks that they get if they hit the 2 baskets. Now all of a sudden it's interesting for Minnesota. Instead, they miss 2 transition J's.
O'Neal. This is an opportunity for the Timberwolves to get back into it. A bad pass. Last touch by Garnett.
Marvin, you look at the numbers, it's sort of amazing. I mean, the Lakers, 48 rebounds to 29. They have 17 offensive rebounds. Minnesota's shooting under 40%. And those last 2 threes goes, we have a 6-point game. I mean, it's amazing Minnesota's even hanging around with those numbers.
Lakers have led by as many as 15 points. Malone with a rainbow. So both clubs are struggling.
So what's this, 5 possessions now? The Lakers haven't scored. Minnesota's had their opportunities.
Kevin Garnett able to bank it home. It's down to a 9-point LA lead.
And when you shoot the 5th best percentage in the 3-point line, that means that's 3 possessions.
Crowd getting a little anxious. Fisher. Fisher able to get it back. And a foul. And Madsen and Fisher had some words, and then both stepped away.
And again, that's Wally Szczerbiak and Fisher. Wally looked like he got the shot in on him the first time, and those two guys, a little bad blood brewing in this series.
Foul is called on Szczerbiak. His second. Will be right back. The 2004 Western Conference Finals on TNT are being brought to you by Coors Light. Unleash the Rocky Mountain home taste of Coors Light. By IBM, making on-demand business a reality to companies around the world. By Universal Pictures, The Chronicles of Riddick in theaters June 11th. And by Lamisil AT, there's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
Kevin Garnett, who has carried the load for Minnesota. Only 1 minute break so far. He's got the tough defender on him, Paul Malone. Likes that little pullback move. He does it for the middle of the floor as well and finishes with one hand, and then showing that he can do it another way. Use a little bit of the backboard. 11 for 22, 24 points. Only 2 trips to the free throw line, 2 for 2 from the line for KG.
And the Lakers have gone scoreless the last 2.5 minutes. That's since their last timeout. With Kobe Bryant sitting on the bench, and he remains on the bench. Lakers stay with Fisher and Payton at the guards. Fox, Malone, O'Neal up front, and the Lakers give it back. So Minnesota takes over. It's a 9-point game with 5.5 to play. Now here comes Kobe Bryant making his way to the scorer's table. Garnett being forced further out by Malone. Shot clock at 7. And a defensive 3-second violation called on the Lakers, so a technical foul to be awarded.
On that last series, when Kevin Garnett caught the ball and his back is to the basket, then you are allowed to put your form, as you see right there. When he turns and faces, and if he puts the ball on the floor, then you are not allowed to put your hands on him. This is a point of contention with Minnesota that Malone gets to put his hands on Garnett, whether his back is to the basket or whether he's facing up. They don't like it. They feel he should be going to the line right there.
All right, Kobe Bryant checks back in for Rick Fox. Wally Szczerbiak, 6 of 6 at the line, has benefited from the technical fouls that have been called on the Lakers. Shot clock is down to 7. Hoiberg was right on target again, but off the back of the rim. So Minnesota continues to get opportunities, but not able to cut further into that lead. Lakers with the ball and lead by 8. Just under 5 minutes to play in the fourth. And now Jack Neese calling the foul away. Apparently, no, the foul is called on Madsen, who had that arm in the back of O'Neal.
The rule is you can play with a bent arm, but the minute you straighten that arm all the way out, they will call the foul.
Fisher, yes. Once again, Derek Fisher hits an important shot. He's 7 of 11, 15 points.
Now, if Hoiberg's shot goes in, it's a 5-point game. It doesn't, he hits this, it goes to 10. That's how a little shot swings a game back and forth.
Szczerbiak with the rebound, and then he was stripped. Foul against the Timberwolves. It is on Sprewell, his 3rd.
Sometimes in the game is which coach you wind up asking, but Minnesota normally a 36% three-point shooting team. Tonight, just 3 for 15, 20%. So is that good Laker defense or just Minnesota having a bad night shooting?
And the Timberwolves are now in the penalty, so Bryant will shoot 2.
Now will we see if Shaq catches the ball in the post, will they start taking fouls? Remember, they have to the 2-minute mark. You can foul off the ball. We saw the other night at the 2:48 mark, they started fouling off the basketball to try to get back into the game. This is where Shaq's free throw shooting could be a factor for the Lakers.
Bryant with 29 points. He And the 18-point third quarter. Garnett. Matson on the follow, and he's fouled by O'Neal. That'll put Matson at the line.
You can see the Lakers, their defensive strategy with Kevin Garnett. They don't want to double team because he is such a good passer, he will find the open man. If Karl Malone can play him and make him work hard for everything, again, that's what happens with the three-point shooting. They don't get the wide open threes they normally get.
Matson way off on that first attempt. Looked like he was trying to bank it into the Papa shot game. He's a 48% free throw shooter. You play Papa shot, right?
I do. Very good at Papa shot.
And the key is going blocks. Well, this time Matson is right on.
Most people don't know that. Good observation. Papa shot, very important.
Tip for you guys.
You get more shots off quicker that way.
Yes. Lakers lead 87-76. 4 minutes to play in the fourth. Bryant for three. Sprewell is met by Payton. Sprewell cannot find the shot. Goes to the crossover. Strip. Garnett. Rebounded by Malone. There's Bryant going at Matson. And Kobe thought he was fouled, did not get the call.
And he looked at the official who had hit him with the technical earlier in the game and decided it's better right now, but I keep quiet.
13-point Laker lead. Serbiak for three, yes. And Wally Serbiak continues to do a terrific job off the bench.
They're going to foul off the ball here now. They're going to start it. They got a minute and 2 seconds now to start fouling off the ball. Shaq's free throw shooting on the night. He's done a pretty nice job, 6 of 11.
So Flip Saunders had said to the team after this next possession, if we score, there's Matson running right up, yelling at the official that I'm going to take a foul.
Remember back in game 3, Matson was attempting to foul O'Neal,
but he fouled him differently that time, right? Much more emphatic. So there was no question by the official what he wanted to do.
In Shaq's history, these are the most free throws that he has shot in a game. This is when they've gone to the hack-a-Shaq. Does it work? Only one time have they lost when a team has fouled him and put him to the line on multiple occasions.
And you saw 39 free throw attempts, which is his high. That's an NBA record, regular season or playoffs. Serbiak got the shot away, and he'll get the call. Now, wait a moment. The officials...
You had 2 different calls, okay? The outside official called the foul on the defender. The underneath official said the offensive man jumped into him, left his space, and created the foul.
Well, the Lakers by 11, 2:55 to go here in the fourth. We talked about are open. This is the 5th time Kobe has had to go to Eagle, Colorado, travel on game day and return and play. December 19th, he hit the game-winning shot against Denver. March 24th, he comes in 36 points against Sacramento. Follows that up, Game 5 finale against Houston, 31-10. And then maybe his most spectacular playoff game ever, 42 against San Antonio in Game 4, and tonight, after a quiet start, only 9 points in the first half, 22 in the second half. He had 22 in the second half of Game 3. Once again, we've seen Kobe Bryant have a tough travel day, emotionally go through a lot of things, travel, and come back and play at a very, very good game.
Yes, Kobe making it back from that pre-trial hearing in Colorado. And arrived here at the arena about an hour prior to the opening tip. Payton is fouled on Serbiak. Gary Payton, after that last call, just before we went to the timeout break, very upset, although the call was changed. The outside official, the baseline official, able to confer and make a change on a call that at first was going Minnesota's way, but Payton was still upset and had to be restrained by Kobe Bryant.
Well, Payton took it more as if Szczerbiak was trying to inflict some pain on him by jumping into him, the elbow extended. Szczerbiak was trying to get fouled and get to the free throw line to shoot 3 free throws, and the call was the right call. It was an offensive foul.
Szczerbiak unable to put it down. Luke Walton just checked in for the first time, and hearing the chants of Luke from this crowd, able to come away with the rebound.
And Shaq is out of the game until under the 2-minute mark, so they can't foul him off the ball.
Bryant over Hassel. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. It's a 13-point Laker lead. Sprewell. Garnett able to sweep it over to Hoiberg. And they have the new shot clock. Pass intended for Szczerbiak. Able to recover. Good defense here by the Lakers. And the foul is called on Bryant. 4th team foul on the Lakers. It is a non-shooting call.
But this is the incident a few moments ago when Szczerbiak fakes and gets the defender in the air. Right there, he jumps backwards. That right elbow comes out. And there's Kobe doing the smart thing, taking Payton back to the bench rather than let him get into a confrontation with Szczerbiak or the officials.
Foul on Payton, his 4th, and now the Lakers are over the limit. Shaquille O'Neal trotting over to the scorer's table. He'll be waved on with 1:48 to play in the 4th.
See, a foul away from the ball under 2 minutes is treated sort of like a technical. Anybody for the Lakers can shoot the free throw that's on the floor, and then you get the ball back. So it's very penal. It's almost like you can have your best free throw shooter, then you get the ball back. So that's why you took Shaq out of the game.
So a brief appearance for Luke Walton.
I was just wondering there, Doug, if Flip Saunders doesn't bring Madsen back in, who would Shaq have guarded? Now, I know somebody's got to guard him, but who would he have guarded with this lineup on the floor for Minnesota? It would have been interesting because they just put Madsen back in and took Hassel out. He would have had to guard Garnett down the stretch. That was the only guy possible.
And if you're going to foul, if Shaq catches the ball, it doesn't matter if he's got a small guy on him anyway.
12-point Laker lead. Madsen called for the foul. That time it was not away from the play.
So now he just, because of bonus, he gets to go to the foul line. He gets his 2 attempts rather than 1 free throw for the Lakers and ball back out of bounds.
And that's Shaq's wife, Shawnee, who has been very animated every time Shaq is at the free throw line. Her husband is now 7 of 14 at the line. So the Laker lead is 12, 1.5 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. Garnett. Good job by Malone. Garnett had to give it up. Here's Hoiberg taking to the rim.
It's like Kevin Garnett works hard on every possession. The guy is trying to create shots for his teammates, trying to get to the line. This guy has played all but about 30 seconds of the game tonight.
And Doug Garnett just 1 assist away from a triple-double. 13 rebounds, 9 assists, 25 points. Bryant eluding Sprewell, finding Fisher for 3. Just under 1 minute remaining in the 4th. Hoiberg gives it back, and Garnett with the extra pass. So the ball back for the Lakers.
Payton caught by himself back there, breaks up the fast break, forces the turnover.
Lakers 92, Timberwolves 82, and they're on their feet here at Staples. The Lakers will go to a 3-1 lead in this best-of-7 Western Conference Final Series. Game 5 Saturday night back in the Twin Cities. Fisher had to fire one up, the shot clock running down. Here's Madsen, now Hoiberg. Madsen missed the tip. Garnett from 3-point territory. Yes. So Kevin Garnett from downtown. The Laker lead is now 7, but only 10 seconds remaining. And the Lakers are hearing it from this crowd. The season will be on the line for the Minnesota Timberwolves come Saturday night back at the Target Center. The Lakers led by Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Derek Fisher, Karl Malone. Bryant with 31 points, 18 coming in the third quarter. O'Neal 19 points, 19 rebounds, 3 block shots. How about Karl Malone? 12 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 assists shy of a triple-double. Derek Fisher off the bench for 15 points. Let's go to Craig with Kobe Bryant.
Well, Kobe, another long travel day that could have had an effect on your body, but how were you mentally and physically?
I feel okay. I feel fine.
You know, at one point, the second half, you seemed to be struggling from the line. We talk about Shaq's missed free throws, but Doug said it's important for you to go to the line. You got fouled by Sam Cassell, made the free throws, then had 16 points in 6 minutes. What effect did that have on you, that foul?
You know, the game was pretty wild. It seemed like it was kind of getting out of hand, so I just told myself just to relax, stay calm, not get caught up in it, just really center myself and focus on putting the ball in the basket.
You now have a 3-1 lead over at Minnesota. In closeout games last couple of years, you and your teammates have won 11 straight. How are they able to sense the fact that this series may be over, and what are your thoughts in the next game?
You know, we're just going to focus on doing A, B, and C. And, you know, they're going to be ready to play. They're going to play out of desperation. And, you know, we just have to cut them up and try to come out here with a win.
You said you felt fine tonight. You felt great the last time you had to do this travel day with 42 points. But then 2 days later, kind of exhausted. You had to have the IVs. Anything you'll do differently tonight or tomorrow to replenish the body?
No, last time was a different situation, longer days. You know, I'll just get some rest tomorrow and be ready to play on whenever it is. Friday, Saturday. Saturday.
We'll see you in Minnesota.
I'm ready to play.
All right, thanks. Back to you, Mark.
All right, thanks, Craig. From the Minnesota point of view, the question for game number 5 Saturday night, the injury status of Sam Cassell did not start tonight, played only 5 minutes off the bench in the second half. Sidelined by that sore back and sore hip. I know Flip Saunders is hoping that he'll be ready to go on Saturday night. Kevin Garnett led the T-Wolves, 28 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists. Wally Szczerbiak with 19 points. Thanks to our producer, Scooter Bertino, director Renato Lowe, associate director Kalen Wright, and our production assistants, Jeff Paris and Tim McDermott. Our statistician, Brian Taylor. Again, the final score tonight is the Lakers take a 3-1 lead. Lakers 92 and the Timberwolves 85. The 2004 NBA playoffs will continue Saturday night right here on TNT. Coverage starting 8 o'clock Eastern time from Minneapolis. For the Czar, Mike Fratello, Doug Collins, Craig Sager, and Cheryl Miller, this is Marv Albert saying goodnight from Los Angeles. You've been watching the 2004